What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck, real Cowboys fan stand up. And today I want to talk about another interesting prospect, and we'll see here in a minute why I'm really like this kid, and that is Josh Kelly out of the University of Texas Tech. Now, the thing about Josh, he's an older prospect. He's a 6-year senior, so he's 24 years old. So he's about as old as Micah and Schoonmaker and some of those guys. Started off at Fresno, where DeRon Bland came from, transferred over to Washington State. So he was Cam Ward's #1 target at Washington State. And then last year he transferred over to Texas Tech. So he was the leading receiver for Washington State and also for Texas Tech. And he's an older prospect. Now, if you go through his combine, ran a 4.7, so isn't the most explosive athlete. But I want to say this now listen, CFO gang, do not go running off on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram or wherever you like to go and say, I heard Jay Tuck say this, right? But if you were to put on your beer goggles, and fellas, we've all been there, he is very Luther Burton-esque. Now, I know I love Luther Burton. I am in no capacity comparing Josh Kelly to Luther Burton. But if you put on your beer goggles, there's a lot of Luther Burton traits. And if we want to keep it a buck, let's just look at the facts, y'all. It's just not Jay Tuck talking. This is the statistics. Hold up. Let me show y'all this shit so that way y'all know I'm not clickbaiting or anything. But yeah, let's take a look. This is not Jay Tuck. I didn't put this together. I ain't Photoshop none of this, right? If you look at Josh Kelly compared to Luther Burton, just specifically last year, yards per target, 8.6 to 8.4. So he beats Luther Burton there. Success rate percentage beats Luther Burton there. Catch percentage, Luther Burton has the edge. Yards per reception, he beat Luther Burton there. Air yards, distance, right? Chunk percentage plays, boom, beat Luther Burton. Little short and explosive percentage plays, yards after catch, right? Luther Burton was notorious for his YAC percentage. Well, Josh Kelly beat him there. You see what I'm saying? And then also look at the separation per target, 4.7 for Josh Kelly to Luther Burton's 4.4, and then catch separation 3.5 to 3.4, but he play a little bit more primarily in the slot compared to Luther Burton. So don't shoot the messenger. I'm just going through giving y'all all the details when it comes to just the nuances when it comes to him as an undrafted free agent. Let's go ahead and get into the film. So the very first thing, like I said, not the most explosive athlete off the line of scrimmage, but he has a good feel for the game to be able to find his spot in zone and just sit softly into the zone right here. Boom, easy money plays. Catching away from his body, you see right there, not catching with his body, not being a body catcher. And once again, you'll see that turn and run, quick turn and run. So he has the ability to sit in these soft zones, boom, get open, catch, turn, and run, and make something happen. So I think this is going to be their traction. And honestly, I did the film session on Trayshawn Holden out of Oregon. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. But if I had to kind of bet my money, I would say the odds are more in Josh Kelly's favor to possibly make this roster. That's going to come down to special teams and who we're going to acquire. But the reason why is because I feel like he has a role on this offense, and when it comes to our personnel, that we currently really don't have, right? We have a lot of big body X wide receivers, whether that's Mingo or Tolbert or, Brooks, but we really don't have a guy who is kind of your slot, your shiftier guy, that Brandon Cooks-esque role. You see him wearing number 3. Now, this was a trick play, right? So I really don't want to give him too much credit because they really just cooked the defense with the play calling, but he does have the opportunity to get over the top. You see some of the nuances in his routes, and that was an easy touchdown. I think either of us could have caught this watching this channel, right? Caught that watching this channel, but once again, he just has a really good feel for just getting open in space. And also, like I said, the turn and run ability, like he's not going to run from people, but he can make people miss and move forward and move the chain. So he's not going to be one of those, oh my God, he hit his head on the goalpost. And we'll see a film clip here shortly that demonstrates that. But he can do enough. He can keep things moving. So for those of you who really like Cole Beasley and those types of players, he can definitely be that caliber player in the Dallas Cowboys offense. And I think once we gear up for camp, Dak is going to like him because, like I said, he was Cam Ward's #1 target. So he's played with elite quarterbacks before. He's been the guy before. He gets open in space. He's an older prospect. You're not going to have a lot of, knucklehead situations come. He's very seasoned as a wide receiver. And I think Dak's going to like that. I'm seeing right here on this play lined up at the number 2 spot. It's a simple little corner route. And once again, like I said, the nuances in his route concept, catching away from his body, and then you'll see the turn and run ability. So that's shiftiness, right? See this, watch this right here. Bam, catch, turn, plant, whoop, plant, cross them up a little bit, And so those are the traits that I really like when it comes to Josh Kelly. And also, we'll see it on some other plays here. The nuances that he has, like I said, the small minor details at the top of his stem to create separation is something that really stands out. Now, like I said and showed you guys a second ago, he played primarily in the slot, so he's not going to be a guy that's going to, face a lot of press coverage. He had a lot of free releases, but you can mix that up into the Dallas Cowboys offense as well. Will he be wide receiver 2? Don't say that. No, don't say I watched the film session and Jay Tuck says we didn't need to draft Luther Burden because we brought in Josh. No. He's going to be a guy, special teamer, work his way up. But there are some things to really be excited about when it comes to this prospect. Also, like I said, boom, the quick game, just a simple out, turn, and run. It doesn't take him much to turn his body around, which is what you like when it comes to wide receivers, right? As soon as he catches it, boom, upfield. Simple, right? You see it right there. Boom, not turning upfield before he catches it, right? Because you don't want to take your eyes off the ball. Boom, ball is in his hands, plant. Now we're getting upfield. Let's go make things happen. Simple, quick game. And like I said, when it comes to him, he ran like a 4.7, and I'm really not a 40 guy, but NFL scouts are, so it just is what it is. And that was at the combine, I believe. So not the most explosive guy coming off the line of scrimmage, but at the top of his routes, top of the stem, you'll see it right here. One, bam. Right, that little step to spin this corner has a separation, big catch, catching away from his body, good route. Let's watch it one more time at full speed. Right there, that little setup. Bam. All right, cool. Good catch, good ability. On this play, it's just simple from the slot position, out and up. Bites the dust. Now, he slips on this play. If he didn't slip on this play, he would have probably hit his head on the goalpost, right? But he fell down as well. But like I said, he can run a complete route tree. Now, is he as shifty as an Amari Cooper or anything like that? Absolutely not. But like I said, he's definitely a guy that if you give him opportunity, he can make things happen. And like I said, also when it comes to the screen game, they use him in the screen game. Now, he's a good runner. YAC guy, as I mentioned earlier, but he's not explosive. He's going to get tracked down. So on this play right here, like if this was Kevontae Turpin, this would have probably been good night. If this was Blue, this would have probably been good night. But a good job reading his blocks, as we say. Once he has the ball in his hands, we're grading him and scouting him like he's a running back. Where's your blocker? Okay, read that helmet. Boom. Let's get out, right? All right, so now you got your lead blocker. The setup. Where's your blocker going to get to? Boom, right here. Read this helmet. All right, boom, now we're off to the races. It's just with the races, he was able to get tracked down. But overall, very good in the screen game. And like I said, the one thing I also like, even though he's like 6 foot, like 180 something, he does have the ability to catch in traffic. Like he has really good hands. I love his hands. I love his concentration. This is a really good catch from a player who's only 6 foot, right? So like I said, catching in traffic, boom, securing the catch, good reliable hands, and you'll see that here as well in the red zone as he's going to run the slot fade. Boom, good setup right here. Details, get the body shifting, bam. All right, big opportunities where it comes to Josh Kelly. Slight push off, but hey, this is big boy football, right? And then going up, securing the catch, coming down with it, touchdown. Like I said, y'all. Like I said, hey, bro. Hey, I see number 3. Have a few beers and whatever y'all into, a few margaritas. It look like Luther Bird and me. Got a little, what I'm saying, a little make believe. I can make it happen with some beer goggles, right? So overall, like I said, really good player. Like I said, he has the intangibles. He has those traits. He's played in some big moments with some good quarterbacks. A simple out route, turning upfield once again, making things happen. And then last play here, again, goes into motion, simple throw, boom, catch, turn, and run. Read your blockers, where's your blockers, and make things happen and get into the end zone. So that is Josh Kelly, undrafted guy out of Texas Tech. Like I said, I like him. Now, don't y'all better not. I'm a block y'all if y'all do it. Don't say no. Well, Jay Tuck says that we got Luther Burden. No, but he does have. If you love film breaking down all these Cowboys players, you are in the right spot. We got so many to get into. The next one, I'm telling you, I'm gonna do one of my favorite undrafted guys that we got out of Syracuse. So you definitely want to turn that notification bell so you do not miss out. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. And I mean, he does look like Luther Burden, y'all. I mean, damn, bro. Like, I'm not just clickbaiting, y'all. It feels Luther Burden-esque to me. Peace.